Hi everyone, welcome to Bikini Design Club. On today's video, we will be sewing swimsuit pattern 𝗹𝗶𝗴𝗶 View A. So to start with, I already have here my pattern pieces. I have printed my size using the layers. If you want help for that, you have a video. I'm gonna write down the number that I have printed. This is my front with the fold line here, and this is my back with the curved center back seam for better fit. These ones I'm going to be cutting on one layer of swimmer fabric and one layer of lining fabric. As for the top part of our swimsuits, we have some options that I want to show you, but first let me explain you more about our view A, so the main view for this swimsuit. And the main view is having one shoulder only on one of the sides and having a hole here in the middle, and then you have the crossed. I'm gonna pop up an image so you can remind yourself which option I'm talking about. And these are the two front pieces for my main option. Then and let me just tell you something, you have a notch that I want you to mark on the pattern, which is you match the seams, and then when they separate you mark a notch like a line, like so. This will be a point that I will advise you to sew once your swimsuit is ready. You can sew these two sides together so that this stays together and doesn't spread apart. And these are the two front pieces. And then you have two back straps and your back band. Your back band has a notch also, and the notch will match your straps. So these are the original straps you have on the pattern. The first one, you cannot see the seam line, but it would be here. And if you match with the notch, you will have one here, and then you have a little bit 0.5 centimeters in between them, and you will have the other. Of course, when you remove the seam allowances, they will be together but not sewn to each other. And so you have the two straps on the back. Just to let you know that if you place this like this, this is the position for your straps if you want to use the pattern for the straps, because I'm going to give you another option on this sew along. But if you want to use these back straps like they are, this is the position for you to place the straps. Because if you then imagine, let me just move this a little bit lower here. Imagine we have this here and I have my front pieces here. If I turn them around, I have already marked an X and an O on each one of them, because on the front piece, this is how you're gonna sew the straps, okay? This one goes to this one and this one goes to this one. This is strap 1 and this is strap 2, okay? So in fact, straps will be like so. This just a little detail before we move on. So the pattern was designed so that you can, of course, do it with an entire back band, but I always love to include a detail like this gold metal clasp. This one is actually the exact measurement that I need to place on my back, which, removing the seam allowance, is 5 centimeters. So this one is 5 centimeters high. And if you fold the fabric in two and if you find the middle, you can easily separate the back band into two pattern pieces. And that's what I'm gonna do today. Of course, now I will have to add a little bit of paper with my seam allowance, which I will include at least 2 centimeters seam allowance so that I can then fold inside and sew to secure my back clasp. So this is the new back pattern piece, and you can just cut symmetric instead of repeating the process. However, don't forget that you have the notch marked for the insertion of the strap. So if it's easier for you, remake this on both of them, so you have a left and the right back, okay? But I'm not going to. I'm just going to mark the notch on this side, and then when I'm gonna sew, I will be able to know where my notch is, okay? So this will be for the clasp. If you notice that I've made this a little bit smaller here than on the original size, and this is just because when we fold, we don't want to see any sticking edges after the fold is done to secure the clasp. And now I'm ready to continue cutting all my fabrics so that we can finally start sewing. Let's start connecting our pattern pieces so that we don't do any mistake. So the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is pin the straps to your fabric. Remember, we had marked strap 1 with an X and also an X here. So once you cut the fabric, place right sides facing together of your strap and pin. Do this for both your straps and for both your fabrics. So my second fabric is actually on the top part of my swimsuit, is actually the same fabric. So don't forget when you cut to cut the symmetric, so with your written instructions facing down, so that you are actually cutting for the same shoulder that you have that you thought about when you start cutting your swimsuit, okay? So don't forget to cut the opposite. Before sewing, I'm just going to identify with a clip or a pin the fabric that I've cut it as my second fabric, the one that is not going to be seen, just because I had some detailed care about when I cutted my fabrics on the pattern matching. So this one is the second side, and I didn't care about matching seams, so I'm gonna just put a mark on this one so that I don't forget that this is actually my second fabric and not my first one. I can even do just like this with my marker. Now I know that this is the second fabric. I'm gonna do the same for my back. After our seams are sewn, I'm gonna set my back part aside, and for now I'm gonna sew all the darts from my tops. So I'm gonna sew 4 darts. We have detailed videos on how to sew darts, so if you want to watch them, they are available and free for you to watch in detail on how to sew perfect darts without any bulkiness. I'm gonna go ahead and sew all my darts, and I'm gonna come back to give you a little tip that it's very important for you not to have excess fabric. Now that we have sewn all our darts, I'm just gonna finish them, and once they are ready, we are going to remove all the excess fabric that we have so that we will not have excess fabric once our swimsuit is ready. And this is something that happens on 99% of the reversibles, and the top part of our swimsuit is going to be sewn as a reversible, so we don't want any excess fabric. So what I'm gonna do is on the second side of my fabric, please look for your second. Remember that I have marked my second fabric. So on the second side of your fabric, I'm gonna show you on one piece and then you can do for the others. We are simply going to remove on this one, which is again the second side, we are going to remove the seam allowance a little bit, not the entire seam allowance, 0.4 or 0.5 millimeters from one edge all the way to the top there, and the same on this edge here of the neckline until we reach the bottom part here. And this second fabric will be smaller here, here, and here. So also remove from the lower part here all the places where we are going to apply elastic need to be trimmed. 0.4, 2.5 or 0.5 millimeters. So let's go ahead and cut all of this. If you are wondering how I cut it, I'm just gonna show you on this small bit how I do it. It's really just improvise. As for the bottom part, I'm going to do exactly that, the same, removing seam allowance on the lining, just to avoid excess fabric. This is optional. You can, of course, not do this, but I actually have tried this a lot, and this improves a lot the fitting and the quality of your final swimsuits. So using the method that I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna do a zigzag on the leg holes, but I'm gonna sew on the waist area like if it was a reversible, so you will not see stitches on the main side of the fabric. And as I'm using that method, I'm just going to remove the seam allowance from the 3 to 4 millimeters on the top edge of the waist from the back pieces and from the front. I'm not gonna touch on the leg holes, okay? So this is my second fabric, and it has a marking, and as you remember, we had removed a little bit of the seam allowance so that we do not have excess fabric. Well, I'm going to do the same on the second fabric from the back piece. So this is the second fabric from the back piece, and I'm going to remove a little bit here and a little bit here. As I told you before, I do this like 3 millimeters to 4 millimeters, and I just go and improvise, and I remove a little bit there and another here. Once you have done this, of course, you need to repeat the same process for both sides. It's exactly the same. I'm gonna match my side seam. I'm going to pin the side seam, and I'm going to sew using my overlock. Don't forget to open the darts one to each side, flattening like so, and usually I pin both of them, and I'm a little bit more careful in this area when I go to my overlock to keep the fabrics in place. So we just need to sew here, and we'll be back. Do this for all your pieces, second fabric and also main fabric. Now it's time to combine both fabrics. So we will place them facing up on the table and right sides facing together, and of course you will have one of them which is smaller, the second side. In my case, this is my second side, and you will have one a little bit smaller than the other, and we will align all the edges here, the front neckline until the end of your strap, and we will match the fabrics, and we will sew them together, applying elastic on all edges. So I'm first going to sew one of the edges, which I have now pinned, and I'm going to apply the elastic on the main side of your fabric, okay? So apply the elastic on the main side of your fabric all along the edge. And then we will come back and we will repeat the process for the other edges here and the other one. Exactly the same. Now we can already go ahead and grab our main fabric and our lining for the bottom part of our swimsuit. Match the side seams. And to make it easier, we are now just going to sew the side seams without elastic for the main fabric and also for the lining. Don't forget, if you still haven't done that we should cut the lining on the waist area so that we do not have excess lining on the bottom part also, but only on the waistline, okay? On the second fabric, on the waistline. So now let's go ahead and sew the side seams. with my bottom part sewn together on the sides, I'm going to mark the middle of the front. So if I fold this in half, I know that the middle is here. And in this size, I know that my notch for the beginning of the strap, so I have here the front, I know that my notch, this one is like so, and it's symmetric, so you just need to know for one of them. And this part here is going to be matched to the notch there, so this is going to be sewn like so. And this one 5 centimeters, and you match that point over there. So if I measure 5 centimeters here, I will have my notch, which is here. Now I know exactly where my strap is going to be sewn, from this side to the outer side, and the same on the opposite side for the other strap. I'm doing the version for the view A today, but I'm sure you can realize that it will be different once you sew view B and view C. So now that I have my notches marked, I'm gonna remove this pin, and I already know where to place this part, right? So we can go ahead and reverse both of them to the right side. I still only have one. I haven't had time to do the other one, but I'm gonna reverse this to the right side, and I'm gonna show you with one of them how we are going to secure this top part of the swimsuit to the bottom. So let's see what I've done. I've cutted my threads here. I've already secured the front to the waist area, as I told you, with a zigzag, and I opened this. And now, just so it's easier for you to follow along, if you have your swimsuit like so, and this is open, so I'm gonna just pull it again, so this will be like so, and then you have the top of your swimsuit here. And if you fold the back, and then if you fold the back, you can now secure the other one here. So just place this on the right side, and just like we did here, let's secure the other one in this area. So it happened to me, and I think it can also happen to you, because this is an asymmetric, and I know that asymmetrics are not so simple to sew. And what happened is that I have opened I have seam ripped the top edge here to fit the two straps on the back, but it's wrong, because if you see the swimsuit on the right side, it's like this, and then like this. If you see that this is going to that shoulder, so of course when you fold, it will be secure to the back, but on this side, not on this one. So I'm just going to my overlock. I'm going to safely close this again with the overlock, okay? And the side that we really need to open, it's this one. So instead of already putting it to the right side, I'm just going to open it first. I have already marked here the notches, so I'm gonna seam rip this side. This time it's the right one, and it will be easier for me to then secure the straps to this side, to the correct side. Once this is seam ripped, I will reverse it to the right side, and I will come back here to secure the lower part of the top here, from the notch to the outer side of your waist, to the hip area, and I will let you know what to do next. So the first strap is between the two notches here, like so. And then you have 1/2 centimeter, and you will have the other strap here, okay? So it's easy, I think, okay? I'm gonna write here, it's 1, and here will be the second, okay? I didn't do any marking on the second, but you can do it here if you want. Okay, so we need to do this markings here and open and seam rip here and here. So we need to reverse this to the wrong side again to find the correct places to do this. So I'm gonna it was easier if I had done this before, but I haven't, so now we have to do it like it is. Here. Okay, so I'm gonna mark with a pin. This is the first one. And it will end here. And then I have 1/2 centimeter. And I will have the second one. Now we are gonna seam rip between the pins. And then we can insert this one and the other one inside here and secure them with a zigzag stitch. But let me show you. To make my life easier, you can see that this has some imperfections. It's okay. I'm gonna flatten the edge here and I'm gonna go to my straight stitch machine, and with a zigzag stitch, I'm going to do a zigzag on the edge here, just to make sure that this is completely flat and the fabrics are together and they will not roll between themselves, so that this is completely flat, and it's easier actually once it's done like so to insert it here. Okay, so I'm gonna do this on both the ends, the edges of my strap, but this is of course optional. Something we could have done to make our lives easier is when you are sewing the back piece on the top edge of your swimsuit, right? The top edge, and when you start on the back, it's easier if you mark the notches before. It would be easier than what I'm doing here, and I have marked here just so you know that it would have been easier. However, don't forget that we only need to mark the notches on one of the sides, not both of them. So I just did it here so that you could see how to do it before you sew with long lines, so that it's easier for you to then seam rip. However, of course, I'm not going to do that on the second side of my back, because as you know, this is an asymmetric pattern and you only do this on one side of your back, okay? Not both of them. Once your straps are inserted on the holes that you have open, just sew them in place. But instead of sewing on this side, just pull through the opening and sew, okay? So I will secure them with a pin, with a clip, and then I will do it on this side. Probably I will just do it like so that I'm sure this is on the correct spot. And these two, I'm gonna grab them. And now you just need to align both of them. Maybe I should do one by one, right? Yeah, I should. Why am I doing everything so fast? So let me do this one first. Okay, this is it. Now we go through the opening. We grab our fabric, we pull the strap, and we will sew it on the edge of the strap. I actually did already something to the other one, which I haven't done here, which is sewing the edge there so that it's easier and stabilized. I'm gonna stabilize it first, and then I'm gonna pull it inside and I'm gonna sew over it, okay? Then I'm gonna secure this on the correct position inside and also sew over it. Now that the crotch area is already sewn, let's just place the swimsuit with the correct position, like if you are going to wear it. Align all the leg holes on the side, the leg holes, and pin. We will sew this, applying the elastic on the side of the lining so that we can then fold and finish it with a zigzag stitch. Elastic already applied, go over to your straight stitch machine, configure your favorite zigzag stitch, fold and sew both leg holes. Now the only thing missing is we have a notch here, which is from the shoulder down 8 to 10 centimeters, and I'm gonna hand sew stitch these two together. So on the back part, of course, so I'm gonna make in a way that instead of spreading apart, they will be like so, okay? 10 centimeter from the edge there. Then I'm going to do the zigzag here, just fold and do the zigzag. And on the back, let me just turn around. On the back, I'm just going to test, and I'm going to fold the fabric, just like I did here. And I'm gonna stitch with my zipper foot in this area and secure the clasp, okay? I put this just to show you, but of course this is all crooked, okay? You should put it straight, okay? That's it, let's do it. Now, because a hand stitch is not secure enough, you just go to your straight stitch machine and you do a tackle here. You may do it with a straight stitch 2 times one side, 2 times to the other, going forth and back, or with a small zigzag. It depends on the stitches that you have on your sewing machine. So as you can see, I have done a very small zigzag that I have, and I'm gonna cut all the excess threads. I don't know what's happening with my sewing machine today. I've replaced my needle and everything, and I'm not being able to sew on the fabric, the zigzag on the leg. I'm having a lot of troubles today. I don't know why. So, well, I'm gonna try it a little bit later. Maybe she needs a rest. But that's the only thing missing. And of course, what I have told you before, which would be like having this like so, and then inserting your clasp, folding the clasp, folding the fabric, and with the zipper foot sewing the fabric near the metal area of the clasp and securing it in place, and you will have your Gigi ready. I will share some pictures, and I hope you girls love this swimsuit as much as I do. Don't forget you also have view B and view C with using the same pattern pieces. That's it for today, girls. See you soon.